Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a good Friday so far. I haven't had the best Friday. I woke up sort of late. I didn't work out, even though I know I should have. I had my yoga playlist ready to go, but I just didn't do it. I don't know. Um, and then I would have started this earlier, but I had some technical difficulties with my PC. Excuse me. On my main display, the left half of it, the text is kind of wonky, and it was upsetting me this morning. And I tried to fix it. I spent maybe an hour or so on the internet. Um, and and then uh after about an hour of researching on how to fix it, I just kept getting upset. I was like, no, what? Maybe I should just eat some food. And that'll help me get into a better mood, I suppose. Because I can get hangry, I guess. And I yeah, so I made food. Yeah, so I ate some food to see if my mood would get better, and I mean, it obviously did a little bit. But then I went back to the technical problem to try to fix it, and then it just kept making me more and more upset. And I just started thinking now, that why am I getting so upset over things that I can't control? So I got it, like I almost didn't do this podcast because of how much it bothered me. It's like I think because I feel like I have no control over my real life, that I have to have control over everything else. And when something isn't in my control via not via i.e. my monitor, like this is my monitor, it should be working the way I want it to. And I got upset that my monitor wasn't working. I was like, well, I've done everything that I could to try to fix it. Um, and I was just sitting there like angry. It's like I didn't want to do this podcast, so I kind of just uh sat there for like half an hour just listening to music. And I started thinking to myself, like, I can't let things like that get in my way of trying to accomplish a goal, right? My goal today was to record uh this podcast as soon as I can so I can edit it and put it out later. Um yeah, so I started thinking, it's like, why am I getting so upset over something I can't control? And I still don't understand why, but I at least acknowledge it and know that it's an issue, and I can look into it later. Um, but I did have some stuff I want to talk about that I found out more about this week. Um, I don't know. I back in episode 4, I started talking about this girl I had a crush on, and it's still so funny to just say the word crush. Like I'm 30 years old. Like, what the fuck am I doing with a crush? And then I started thinking, like, I guess when you're a little kid and you call it a crush, I guess it's like really cute, and it's just you're going through emotions, and you don't really understand how to fully um involve yourself with those emotions because they're all new to you. But then when you become older and supposedly more mature, you realize that crushes are basically just infatuations, right? Because I was saying I don't know this person in real life, um, and I think that's a problem among a lot of um young men right now, or young people, actually, even in general, just over like on social media, how people are like dedicating their emotional selves to someone online. Let's say like I don't know, what's that TikTok girl, Addison Ray or something like her. You know how many followers she has, and like if you think about it, I think besides the creeps, right? There's always gonna be creeps out there, but most of the people who follow her, I think, are like people who aspire to be like her, or that want to end up like dating her or something, and they think they can win her over. I don't know, but it's weird to think that you can. I think it's because you're so used to being by yourself and alone, or that nobody desires you the way you want. When you see these online personalities and they kind of like open themselves up to you, sort of, they show you their personality, and you feel like you get to know them, and when you follow them, you obviously they put more content out, and the more content that they put out, the more you realize like, oh, I have this in common, oh, I have this in common, and you feel like you're actually starting a relationship, and it's not good, especially over a person that you are most likely not going to meet. And I guess that's why, like, when celebrities have stalkers, and or just anybody who has stalkers, it's just people who think they actually are in love with these people, and they think that if they just had a chance to meet them, they'll they'll be able to like basically make whatever their fantasies come true. It's like it will happen. Like if I were to meet her and we just talk for a second, like because you run these scenarios, or at least I did. I run these scenarios through my head of like how the conversation would go, of how we'd end up getting together, stories of like future fantasies of like when we are ready together, and the conversations we'd have. It's like it's weird to think about. And once I started thinking about that, and um J. Cole said, I don't know how many other people say it, but I remember hearing J. Cole said it in one of his songs. I don't remember, but um he's saying that love is like the strongest drug of them all. And I think that to be true, especially when you didn't really get a lot of it when you were younger, or that you feel like you didn't. Um, so as you get older, you want to find that sort of feeling again. So that's when people end up being clingy. Like with my first girlfriend, um, I feel like I was ignored when I was a child, because even though I'm the oldest uh child of my mother, like it's just me and then my younger brother. Like there's just two boys. But I think I realized why I might have became who I am, because I've always felt like even though I was the older brother, I felt like I was the middle child, because um because of my dad. And I think um my mom had to take care of my dad. So I ended up being sort of the middle child when my brother was born. That's how I feel. So I don't know if that's how it is, because if I think back, I just found out um or I probably just really forgot. For my brother, he reminded me that my dad, he's about maybe fourth or fifth out of 7 children. And when you grew up in like basically rural Vietnam and you're the fourth or fifth child, like I don't know what kind of life you could have had. Like seven kids in like, you know, I mean, I never asked them, but I'm pretty sure they weren't the wealthiest in Vietnam. Um, and I think that's why, like, whenever my dad he buys things, he buys way too much of something because he thinks he's gonna have nothing in the future or something's gonna happen. Like in my other room, in the other storage room right now, there's like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, two more there, eight, nine. There's 9 giant bottles of Tide, and like he just keeps buying them. And I think it's because like he has, and I'm pretty sure this is where I learned my finances from. Just copying him. He just buys things because, well, he buys it because either they're on sale, so he's like, oh, we can buy this now, uh, because it's gonna be expensive later or something. Yeah, he we just have a bunch of shit, like random shit, right? And then I kind of learned that it's like I don't know when the next time I'm going to have any kind of income or money, so I'm just gonna spend what I have now, and then worry about it later. That's how my spending has been. It's like I don't know how to save. I mean, like, I literally do know how to save. All I have to do is just put money aside and then just don't touch it. But there's something that drives me to like, no, I'll figure it out later. You know, I'll eventually get money somehow later. And so I just keep spending what I have. It's like so I thought about, I just got some money from unemployment from California, which is like I got like 200 something dollars. And I've been wanting a Galaxy Watch Active for a long time, and I'm like, I started thinking again, like I think it would be really good for me right now because it'll help motivate myself to get back in shape. And I was like, fuck, I really want it. And I looked at my account, I had some money. I was like, I can afford this, right? And then now that I got this extra like $200, like now I can really afford this. I'll just buy it right now and I'll worry about the money later. And I kept thinking, it's like, that's the mentality I have. Is like once I have money, I just have to spend it. So yeah, I gotta figure out how to turn my brain into uh thinking long term, I guess. Because everything I buy, whenever I purchase it, I make sure. I think as I got older, the more things I bought, and looking back of like all the fucking money I wasted on stupid shit, I think back to like now it's like whenever I do purchase something, I want to purchase it that I know it'll last me for basically as long as I need it to, right? So I kept reiterating to myself like if I get this Galaxy Watch Active 2, uh it's going to last me a few years. So like 100 and what was it, like, no, like $200 or something like that. It's like $200. Let's say if I were to have the watch for, I don't know, 3 years. Like if you break it down, that's like um hold on, let me do some math. 3 years, this 365 times 3 is 1,090. Oops. And 1,095 divided by 200, I said. So $5 a day, basically, of spending. Did I do that wrong? No, it's 200 divided by 1050, whatever. So that means if I were to buy this $200 watch, and it will last me for 3 years, that means I just basically spent 19 cents per day for 3 years, right? And I think about it like that, and like that's how you basically kind of like run how you want to make better credit and stuff when you think long term like that. But for me, I just kept piling on those little 19 cents, 19 cents, 19 cents, and it doesn't stop. So, fuck, where did I begin this podcast at? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, crushes and infatuations. Yeah, I don't know how to stop myself. And I guess if I'm thinking about how I spend money and how love in it is an addiction to me, it's like I don't know. Just like money, I don't know when I'm gonna uh like receive that type of love again. So whenever I did end up with the girl that I liked, well, that makes a lot of sense of like why I was so clingy and how I could be like overbearing. I'm way too honest up front. You know, like I'm trying to convince them so bad it's like we can work without even like actually working on it and expecting them to just be with it, be okay with it. So as honest as I would like to be with somebody, I just know that other people have boundaries too. And well, that was a good self discovery of finding out why why I've, I guess, messed up some of my relationships and why people can be clingy. Um, hmm, that was a good one. What else did I want to talk about? Why am I scared to ask for help? Huh. Why am I scared to ask for help? I don't know. And I think because I've been sort of on my own since I was like maybe 8 ish, I think. Right? Because remember when I told you how I felt like I was a middle child because my mom just always had to take care of my dad because my dad was kind of like, he's selfish, he's kind of mentally not there. And even at a younger age, like he didn't know, he was the fourth or fifth child, so like he doesn't know what, really a mother father figure is. And well, I'm assuming, I don't know, I never talked to him. And I guess that's why, like, and then my mom, uh I think she's also a middle child. And I guess the fact that my dad was so dependent on her, that's why they got together, because she felt like she was needed by somebody. And it ended up being okay, I guess. Like they're still together. They argue all the time. I don't know about what, because they're speaking Vietnamese and I don't understand Vietnamese. They tried to teach me when I was younger, but I was basically I felt like I was bullied into not wanting to be Asian, but we can talk about that some other time. Of why I don't speak my language. What was I talking about? Ask for help and my dad. Yeah, so because my because my mother was always taking care of my dad and barely had enough time for me. Once by the time I was like can be able to walk and talk, I guess properly as a child could. I remember I was always wanting to hang out over at my friend's house. Uh, a friend, I won't mention his name, but we've been friends since far back as I remember. First grade. How old are you in first grade? 7, 6, 7. Yeah, so I think ever since I started going to school, I've kind of been on my own. Like the schools that we lived near all my schools, so I basically either took the bus or walked to school. Didn't they didn't really ever drive me. I think they drove me sometimes, but I always remember uh going home. And then after school, I was going to an after school program until like 6 o'clock ish or something like that. I don't remember how long. So yeah, and every time I was home, it's just my mom and dad, they were just either taking care, talking to each other and stuff, or you know, taking care of each other. And then there was just me, the kid, kind of like, and they sort of disciplined me in the way that like they made me, they tried to make me their trophy kid. Like I was their chance to get out of the shithole that we were living in. Um, yeah. So, what was I saying? Fuck. Using me to get out of the. So, yeah, and then they had my brother when I was 5. So even before then, before I started becoming sort of independent, at 7 years old, my brother was born. So that definitely made me not the biggest focus, I guess, on the house, in the household. Cause then I think once my brother was born, since he became the baby, then like, uh, my dad had to start slowly becoming more independent because she had to take care of the kid, and then me, I was basically already independent at that point. So all she really had to do was take care of Andrew, and then me and my dad kind of just went off and did our things. Like I never really wanted to be home, cause I always had more fun at friend's house or, yeah, friend's house. Um, ever since I was a little kid. So yeah, that was a lot to unpack. Um, I feel like I didn't finish why I'm scared to ask for help. Yeah, I guess I never. Well, I guess if I was just talking about it, maybe it is just because since I was 7, anytime I asked for help, I never got it. So I think I'm just so used to um not receiving help, and then when I do receive help, I act like I don't need it. I don't want it because I can take care of myself, and I guess that's what I have to change is um just how to let people help. I don't know how. And I think one of my ways how is this podcast of just letting me express how I feel and put it out into the world. Hopefully someone, will listen, and then I don't know, say something. Um yeah. Okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna end it there. Um I like to thank you to all my listeners. There are a few of you out there right now, and I don't know who you are, but I appreciate you very much. You um you keep me going. You keep me wanting to learn. You keep me on my toes. And even though I'm not physically asking for help, this is helping. Just being able to talk out what I'm feeling. And yeah, maybe that's why I've been better friends with girls instead. I don't know, cuz most guys, they don't talk about feelings and stuff. Most guys. I don't know any personal ones that do, but yeah. But again, I'd like to thank you for listening and have a great weekend. Thank you.